Good afternoon. All right, let's get started. Good, nice job today. Good. All right, we're here for the Nautical Coast Cleanup, and I would like you to give a very warm welcome to Mrs. Teri. Hello? Excuse me. We don't have to have the assembly. All right, to Mrs. Teri Landis. She is part of the Harrison Township Environmental Committee and is in charge of this cleanup. So give her a very warm welcome at this time. Thank you.
Hi, you guys. Whoa. How many of you have been swimming or boating or just playing around Lake St. Clair? Everybody? Okay. All right. What we've done today is gotten a group of people together to talk to you about the different aspects of Lake St. Clair. I've been blessed, and I've lived in St. Clair Shores and Harrison Township my whole life. So I've been able to experience the lake and the rain and the snow and everything else. What we find, though, that the lake needs a little TLC. You know, for all of our usage and everything that happens to it, we need to take a little care of it. So we've formed a Nautical Coast Cleanup. We do that every year. This year it's on Sunday, May 17th, and we do it for 4 hours on a Sunday morning. And what we'd like you to do is care enough to commit to join our Nautical Coast Cleanup. And since the lake and all of its various functions touches all of our lives, we'd like to have these individual people tell you how it can affect your life and why we should care so much about it. Now, in order to be persuasive and have you come to our cleanup, we want to let you know that we have a ton of fun. We're always fooling around while we're doing this cleanup because that's what life's about. We also have free food. So that might be a little interesting. You know, we do a little breakfast, a little lunch, feed you. And on top of that, I understand that you guys might still need community service to graduate. We got a sheet to sign up. We can get you some community service and help you out too while you're helping us. So that's what we're all about here today. And our speakers are going to start with Dr. Shawn McElmurry. He's from Wayne State, and he's going to do kind of a preview of the lake and all of its benefits. So let's have a warm welcome for Shawn, and we'll go from there.
Thank you, Teri. Okay, so my name is Shawn McElmurry. I'm from Wayne State University. Who's heard of Wayne State University? All right, great. Wayne State University is a premier urban research university. We continually rank in the top 50 from the National Science Foundation for the amount of research and development we do. And one of the areas that we are focusing on, refocusing on, continually focusing on at Wayne State University is environmental issues. And that comes down to my department. I'm in the Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering. And I want to just share with you a little bit about the kind of things I do so that you have a feel for what someone as a civil or environmental engineer might do if you choose that type of field. So how many people know what a civil or environmental engineer might do? Does anybody want to take a guess what a civil or environmental engineer might do? No guesses? I see some hands. No? All right, I'll increase the wager here. I have t-shirts. Does anybody want to guess for a t-shirt here? What do we got, buddy? What do you think a civil engineer does? You don't know. What's that? Lakes and people? What do we got? Studies environmental issues. Give me something concrete. What do we got? Try to clean up the lake. That's getting close. Good. Go ahead. Building bridges. You win a t-shirt. See me afterwards. I'll give you a t-shirt. All right. That's exactly right. Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering at Wayne State University, we have multiple disciplines, but the thing is we do all the infrastructure that you use throughout society. We build bridges, we build the sewer systems, we build the water networks, a lot of things that we take for granted. We build dams, energy grids. All of these things are civil and environmental engineers working behind the scene to design these systems. And so unlike a lot of the other forms of engineering, right now, civil engineers are really in high demand. So that's one of the reasons I bring this to you, is to explain a little bit about what we do so that maybe some bright students as yourself may become interested in this field. So specifically, my area of work revolves around water quality. I'm interested in keeping the drinking water clean and keeping the lakes healthy so we can enjoy these resources. And so that brings me to Lake St. Clair. Water throughout the world is a lot more scarce than we actually have here. When we look at the Earth from space, we see the big blue marble, okay? But unfortunately, most of that's salt water, and I'm sure some of you have been to the oceans and have tasted salt water. It's not really what you want to be drinking. Can anyone tell me what percentage of the Earth's water supply is actually fresh water? 3%. See me afterwards, I'll give you a t-shirt too. That's great. 3%, okay? Of that 3%, I'm sorry you can't see this so far over here, but of that 3%, about 2/3 of it is tied up in glaciers and other places that we can't get drinking water from. So that leaves the other third which is about 1% of our total water on Earth, that is usable water for drinking water and other industrial purposes. So most of that is tied up in groundwater, and then we have a very small fraction that is in surface waters. So our Great Lakes here around the state of Michigan turn out to be a really, really valuable resource. So we're all very blessed to have this in our area, and we can enjoy it, but it also comes with certain responsibilities. When we have our watershed within the Great Lakes, there's a couple key features that I want to point out. Now, how many of you realize what a watershed is? Anybody know what a watershed is? Just raise your hand if you do. Okay. It's basically the area or the space in which all rainfall or snowmelt will be transferred overland flow into the lake of interest. In this case, Lake St. Clair or Lake Michigan. Now, the key feature for the Great Lakes is that we have a relatively small watershed. So as part of the whole water cycle, we have rainwater that falls down into our watershed. It gets transferred overland flow into the Great Lakes and evaporates up into clouds. And this whole cycle continuously occurs. But unfortunately for our watershed, we have a very small watershed relative to the size of the lakes. So this means that we don't have a lot of water flushing out potential contamination. So this is something we need to consider when we are utilizing this resource. So when all of you go and get a drink out of the drinking fountain or turn on the tap water at home, where is your water coming from? Anyone? Lake St. Clair, exactly. Some call this the heart of the Great Lakes, and I think I will leave it up to you to figure out why. I'm sure most of you can understand that. But in this region, most of the water that we use is coming from Lake St. Clair. Unfortunately, that water, even without our human impacts, is not the kind of water we would probably want to drink, right? So we send it to filtration systems and water treatment facilities to purify that water and clean it before we send it to your house and use it. Now, that's fine, we get good quality water, everybody's happy, but that takes a lot of energy and a lot of time, and that's actually where environmental engineers come in. We design those plants so that you do have clean water, and hopefully we use very little energy in doing that, and that's the next challenge for us as scientists and engineers, is to develop those systems. So what happens after we drink that water or use that water? Where does it go next? What's that? The toilet, exactly right. Yes, people, we all use toilets, okay? Once it goes to the toilet, we don't want to discharge it straight to the river, or the Clinton River, or to Lake St. Clair. So we send it to a wastewater treatment plant, where we take care of all of our indiscretionary or undefined, we'll say, waste, okay? And we remove that, purify that, and then send it back to a surface water. In this case, a lot of this probably goes to the Clinton River in this area, but where's the Clinton River go?